to make concrete skulls today, as promised. And we're going to use these for the molds. And I'll show you how I do that. But first, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, like and share. We can use all the exposure we can get now. So I have, like I said, I have a bunch of these skulls. This is my setup. That's my cup for getting my sand and my concrete. This is what I'm going to mix my concrete in. Have water, shovel, newspaper. Okay, I have a putty knife. I have saran wrap, cling wrap, duct tape, gloves, and I have multi-purpose sand. Get that at any home improvement store. Portland cement. And let's begin the process. Okay, the first one we're going to do is a full skull. So we have to cut them first to put the concrete in. We have to cut them in a way that we can get the skull out without cracking the concrete. So I'm going to show you how I do that. It's going to be a half jaw. You know, we're going to take off the bottom so that it only forms from here up. I'm going to do half skulls, so I'll show you that too. So I'm going to do depending on how you want them to sit somewhere is how you're going to form the back. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to cut, see how I'm cutting straight along his teeth. Just be careful with that because you don't want to cut off his teeth. There we go. Alright, that you don't need. Now, to get the concrete out of here, obviously you're not going to be able to get the concrete out because this part's bigger than the opening. So you want to you can either slice it and then tape it so it's a full skull that will sit like this. But what I'm going to do is I want mine to sit kind of flat on the ground. I'll show you my skulls. I'll do a video of the skulls I have around and show you what I mean by that. So I like mine sitting more flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them. It's really hard to use this when it's already hollowed out. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're getting it not too far into the front. And a couple of the ones I'll show you in the garden were like first tries, so they look a little crummy until I realized how to actually do it. So when I pour the concrete in, I'm going to let him sit like this. And then I'll put something up against here so that the concrete stays. This is the first time I'm doing one like this, where it's half of a jaw, so to speak. Okay, they're ready. We just have to spray them with canola oil, or any type of cooking spray is what I use. You can use Vaseline, you can use anything that's like slippery, you know what I mean, like oily, greasy, it don't matter. Just so that the concrete makes it easier to get the concrete out. If not, I tried it without it. Even though it's plastic, I still had a heck of a time getting the concrete out. So I just spray it in there real good. Because the concrete's mostly going to stick to the little crevices. Spray that one. Where it sticks the most is around the eyes and the teeth and the nose. So that's all sprayed. Okay, we're going to cut this one for the full skull on his jawbone, or under his jawbone. So we want to pour the concrete in, and I'll show you what I mean, and then we're going to cut the skull. So this one, you'll see. But you can always reuse it, because then I tape them back together. Alright, so I'm going to cut around this bottom. So that I can pour the concrete in here. Our plastic gets a little thick near this part. Okay. Now you want to spray it with canola or Vaseline, or it's easier with the spray because with the Vaseline you can't, you know what I mean, you can't get how are you going to get in there to get all them. I mean, with this one you could do Vaseline, but this one, I guess you could even use cooking oil, put it in there, let it swirl around, you know, and then take a cloth and maybe damp some of it out. I don't know. You'll find a way. It's not rocket science. Okay, got my gloves on. I'm not wearing a dust mask because I'm filming. But typically you should always wear a dust mask when working with concrete, especially, because I can only imagine, like, think of it in your lungs. It would be pretty bad. But I do my sand, then concrete, then sand when I'm mixing. And I'll show you what I mean. So, I'm going to use this as my measuring cup. That's going to be my measuring cup. So I'm going to do 2 parts sand to 1 part Portland. Now when I'm doing the stream, if you watch me doing the stream, I'm doing 3 parts sand to 1 part Portland. But I like a smoother consistency for the skulls so they look actually smooth. That's why I'm doing it this way. So it's 1 sand, one concrete, Portland cement, and then 1 sand. Keep in mind, it don't have to be like to the teaspoon. Just mix it. You're not baking a cake. Although sometimes I feel like I am. So then I use my little trowel just to get it all mixed up good together. I don't know if you can see that. And then if there's any lumps, I just kind of, but they'll come out when I add the water and mix it. If I see too many big ones, I just get in there and make sure you have gloves on. And just kind of get rid of those lumps, because in the skulls it matters. You'll see it. And it won't look right. Unless you want a lumpy head. Okay. With the water, I never measure. but I just go with the consistency, so I'll add just a little tiny bit. Start mixing until I get the consistency I want it to be, which is mostly like a very thick cake batter. Maybe even a little thicker than cake batter, so it doesn't run everywhere when I'm pouring it into the skulls. So I use this because it's just simpler. I don't use a and if you add too much water, no big deal. Just take like a half a cup of sand and a half a cup of concrete and mix it in there. Like I said, just until you get it back to the consistency you want. Don't freak out if you add too much water. I've done it a million times. It's not a big deal. If you end up with extra concrete, just find something to do with it. Make a flower pot or fill in a crack and use cement somewhere. I'm sure you can find something to do with it. Use your imagination. Make a bird bath. I don't know. Lots of things you could do. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I'll show you in a second. Let me just make sure there's no lumps. See? That's the consistency I like. Now when you're doing it, you're going to find your own way and what you like. You can't mess this up because there's like no, it's just concrete. So now we got it mixed. Okay, I think I want it a little bit thinner. It just feels too thick to get into creases in there. Okay, that looks good. Alright, now we're going to take our skull, open his little thing, and pour it in. Get a couple scoops in there and then start to shake. Don't wait till you get it full to do the shake, because once you get it full, you won't be able to get it in the creases. Trust me, I know from experience. Little shake. See if you can notice that one. I got a little scooper because it's hard with the shovel to reach down in here. Okay, so it's level. See that? I'm going to tap on it. See the little air bubble? In case it got any more in there. Okay, then you got to find a place to sit it. Okay, you can set it in whatever you want, just to make sure he doesn't roll over. So I put some sand in a bowl, and then I kind of set him in just like that, and then put him aside and let it go so it's level. And I'll show you that in a minute. So now we got to do the next one. I'm probably going to need more. So I'm going to mix some concrete and then I'll be back. Okay. We're going to fill this one, but since this is the first time I made one with half a jaw, I realized I cut too much. That's why you need to watch the whole damn video before you do anything. Because we're doing trial and error too. So, I'm going to use duct tape to hold that concrete. I'm thinking it'll work. I mean, it's not a major problem. It's okay. There we go. So as you can see, I duct taped. So I can set them either this way or this way. See what I'm saying? Alright, let's do it now. I need some more, so I have to make some more. I'm not sure what to do. I need this one. Don't do one, I'm sure you use those. So I'm going to do now, stick them, we're going to see. So you see what's, see. Alright, that's not just fine. So you have to really good. See where holes come up. Sometimes, it goes over. I'm going to do this pieces, so you actually use this all. Right now, we're going to let that dry, but I do have some concrete left. So I'm thinking, okay, I got it. So we can see my life. Alright, let's do this. Try to half chop. Okay, let me think about this. So let's just half chop, fill it up, turn it upside down, and I'll show you how to get it out. I'm using the first one because I think that's bigger in there, and I don't want to mess up. Okay, I'll do the first one. Right into the seat. There we go. Show you how to make them. So, alright, so this all is on. Spray the spray. Close up your holes, clean up yourself. You have 3 left. Good time. You're ready to do the next project. The exposure in that little bit. Because some of the water will flow down on top real fast. Then I'm going to concrete. You might see a little oil in there. Float around. It's okay. Guys, sit till tomorrow. And then I will show you how I take them apart and what they look like. And I don't typically paint mine, but you can paint them, and I'll go through that tomorrow when I unveil them. So stay tuned. Here's a skull. It's buried in my front garden. As you can see, you can hardly see them, and that's how I like them. So it's like when somebody's walking around and looking, they just get a glimpse. So this one sits more flat on the ground. Okay, but that's, see, the back of him's flat so that he can sit like he's coming up out of the ground. That's how I do mine. Here's one. This was actually a bigger skull that I did. And see how he sits flat on the ground? But I like it because the water rolls in his eyes. It looks really cool. Okay, and I'll show you another one, the ones we're doing. This is what I was talking about when I said I like the water laying in his eyes. I don't know if you can see it on the video because I'm using my phone. But see, it kind of makes it glisten. I like it. It looks a little more eerie when that happens because it rained last night. I love it. There's a mushroom. And here's a skull that sits on the front porch. That was one of the nicer ones that come out. We are going to do our skulls today that we poured yesterday. See? Looks pretty good. They hardened well. they got time to cure. So we're gonna take them out and see how they turned out. So the trick to this is you don't want to crack the concrete. You kind of want to, like any type of mold you're doing, just kind of want to pull it gently. Sometimes not so gently. Not hard, just enough to break it loose. This one, it's shifting in there. It's just a matter of getting it out. I'm trying not to destroy the skull so I can reuse this. What's nice about the cheap plastic is that it flexes better. Feel it sliding around. I think I'm gonna have to cut the back. I didn't want to do that. So maybe I'll give them a little slice. It's still gonna give me a hard time. A bigger slice. I didn't want to ruin this skull. There it goes. Just needed a little help. I can actually tape that and reuse it. So, see? Just tape it and reuse it. Came out pretty good. It's still a little damp. So you might want to let it sit, you know, before you unveil them. Maybe let it sit 3 days. Because this is really damp. And it was raining though too out here, so I had it covered, but it still was probably getting damp. So I can set him this way, or I can set him this way. But see how we have this little chip under his teeth? It's the nice thing about it still being a little wet is that you can get that off. And once it dries, it's going to dry very light colored, like my other ones I showed you. So, okay, there's that. That's him. Now this one we're definitely going to have to cut, or we're not going to get it out. Like I said, you can tape it back together, like I showed you, or concrete it. Unless you just like crap with these and do the things you want. Especially outside. I was digging earlier and starting to shovel that I lost years ago. I'm going to use this. So we'll got it slow. Alright, that's... Alright, so you can see the difference in what I did here. See, that one will sit straight up. And then this one, see how his head's missing, so we can sit him flat. Although I kind of like him more. He's got a little bit of cracks, but that's okay. It's concrete. That's what makes it fun. It gives it that depth. Gives it an old feel. I like it. Okay, we have another one. After what we just went through. Yeah. Okay, that's like the ones in my gardens. And when he dries, it'll be really light. So, that is what you get. And like I said, so I got these skulls from the Dollar Tree. Okay, as I mentioned before in the first part of this video. So if you want a bunch of these, I suggest buying as many skulls as you can, because sometimes this is what happens. I mean, I'll probably duct tape this if I want another skull. And to be honest with you, you won't even be able to tell. The problem is this plastic's so thin. I didn't know we had mail delivery today on Labor Day. Huh. But yeah, I'll probably have to throw it out. Bye, Mr. Skull. Okay. But look what we got out of it. So then you can sand them smoother, but it's probably the best idea to do it when it's wet like this, damp. And if you want to paint them, I don't want to paint mine. I might add some moss to it, but I can't paint it when it's wet. So instead of making you guys wait for this video, I painted this one. This is a top for a mushroom. So I painted that one, and I did this one. And I'm going to do a video on to show you guys how I got the little mushroom tops and stems. And then this is the newest one. So, but this one's I think I'm going to repaint this one. I don't want it as red. But I'll show you that in the mushroom video. That's the one I'm doing next. So, my little mushrooms. Magic mushrooms. Because I feel like if I have mushrooms in the yard, it brings fairies. So I like them. I like them a lot. We'll put some moss around one to show you. Which one do we want to put moss around? Probably him. I think I'm gonna do him. I have my moss from the Dollar Tree, so you can use either one. And like I said, if you want to paint them, just paint them. I use them regular crappy little paints from like Walmart for 50 cents. Doesn't matter what kind they are, just pick a color, any color, and you can paint them. So you paint them, let them dry. It doesn't take long for that stuff to dry, and then you can decorate them. This neighborhood is so busy. Alright, we're going to put some moss on him. So I'm just using Gorilla Glue and moss I got from the dollar store. Get it in the crafting section, that little crafting aisle there. Oh God, not again. Alright, let's just do this. Okay, so I'm going to put moss on him. I'm probably going to put some in his eye. So put a little glue in there. You could probably use a glue stick, you know, glue gun, hot glue gun. I don't know if it, I'm sure it would like peel off the concrete. As long as nobody's messing with it, it would be fine. Because you just kind of want it to stay on there. So, then I'm going to put some down into his jaw. Heck, I don't even know if the Gorilla Glue is going to stick it. It's the first time I put anything on my concrete skulls. Like without painting them first. I really hate when people speed through here because there's so many little kids around. Like, just wish people would be more careful when they drive through neighborhoods. Really, really, really would do wish. I mean, I don't care what neighborhood I drive through. If I see houses around, I watch. Years ago, right before I met my hubby, he was riding his motorcycle and he was going the speed limit down a main road, but there were houses on the road. Well, somebody was out with their child on a tricycle and let the kid go down the driveway and went right out on the road, and he had to dump his bike and he hit a telephone pole head on and split his helmet to avoid hitting the child. And you know, ever since he told me that story, it freaks me out to think that a child could be in danger that easily, you know. So I try to be careful. And, I mean, they grabbed their kid and ran inside, didn't even stop to see if he was okay. In that case, they should have been watching their child. But, you know, it's like I have a thing about, I always say, a missing child is everybody's problem. We should, children are like sacred. Okay, so hopefully that stays. And let them dry. And then I have a paper plate here. My hair keeps blowing in my face. Okay. And I'm thinking I'm going to set him on moss. Because like I said, I'd rather him lay down. I'm going to use this stuff. If you guys don't use this stuff, it's great to get from the dollar store because it's so expensive everywhere else. But I use it for Halloween decorations. It just makes everything look so much better, so much more creepier like that. So. Oh Lord, he looks like he has frizzy hair. Yeah, that might not. Okay, we don't want it up top because it looks funky. Just play with it. Or maybe it's just the way I seen it. Looked like he had got a perm. A bad perm. Did you ever get a bad perm? My mother did that to me when I was like 10. I had this really pretty long hair. And it was in then to have perms. And she did a home perm on me. Needless to say, 2 weeks later, she had me at the salon getting it all cut off. So then they just gave me one of those Dorothy Hamill haircuts. I hate short hair on myself. Other women can wear it and look great. On me, I just don't look great. Okay, so there's a lot you can do with these. Imagine it without the plate. So if it's laying on the ground somewhere, it's actually going to look cool. Then you could probably put a little bit of green in there. Let me see. That's helpful if you take the cap off. These things dry out so quickly, I just try to make it a half. You know, there's something about which side should put on east, west, awesome. I was like in this project where like, you're using natural history, okay, but it's not really anything. You can also put them little glass beads you get from the dollar store in the bags. They're like real shiny. You could probably plop one in each of his eyes if you wanted to make it like, I don't know if you like that bling, you know, that might be cool. So that's him with the moss. I like it. I'll let him dry. Hopefully it doesn't rain. No, I don't have to take him in my shed. I have too much crap in my house. There's stuff everywhere right now because I'm integrating into fall. And then with him, I don't know, that's the first one I did like that. And I see what I did there? I cracked his eye. Must have been from me hitting on it, so that's what you don't want to happen. But I don't mind it because it makes him look a little, see there, he looks a little more old. I think I'm going to leave him like he is. If I do something with him, I'll film it. But I don't think I'm going to. If any, well, we could do black paint on him. See how I switch my mind about stuff when I start thinking? We could do, where's my water? A little bit of water. That's hose water. I just keep them jugs out here to put hose water in so I don't have to keep running over to the hose. Okay, this is pavement. Apple barrel pavement. Make sure you shape them up good, because when you go to pour them, you end up having the real runny stuff first, just like ketchup, kind of. So. A little bit of water. Where's my sponge? I don't know, I like that. Oh shit, I'll turn around in a second so you can see them. I'm just kind of full with the drips. What do you think? Kind of like the look of that. He's still kind of wet. This concrete, so it's kind of flaking on me. Like I said, let them dry a good long time. I have to work all week, so I won't have time later in the week to show you, do this video. So I was kind of rushing it for you. I kind of like the way he looks like that. I really do. Alright. Okay, I'm going to show you guys where I put some of my skulls that we did. So, I got some flowers in along the stream. And there's one skull. That's the one I painted. I'll probably move him at one point, but he's there for now. And then that skull's there. I'm going to put some ground cover around him so that he blends in. And then this little guy's here.